Hello there and welcome back, Cozy Club. We just finished wrapping up the early morning stream of the first Summoners Showdown, and now I'm here to tell you guys exactly what I think about the game mode and provide you guys with some tips and tricks that really helped me climb the leaderboard. Let's help you guys get up there and get those awesome rewards. In today's video, we're gonna go and break down some of the characters from the first Showdown, and again, some tips that are gonna really help you out in your battles. Now, without just holding back and to get right to it, guys, the DSA team absolutely knocked this game mode out of the park. It is tremendous fun and probably, candidly, the most fun that I have had since the raids have come out in DSA. The sheer fact that this is going to be a game mode that we see all of the time with great rewards, amazing replayability, and a ton of competitiveness. And truthfully, we all know this is the exact spark that DSA needed. So let's go ahead and jump into today's video. Alrighty, guys, well, we've talked about the Summoners Showdown quite a bit in the last video that I made, but today, now that I've gotten my hands in on this new game mode, I'm gonna go ahead again and break down my thoughts and what I think about it, some tips and tricks to really help you guys out there, as there was a lot of the same mistakes and patterns that I was seeing from my opponents. And then we'll talk about one concern I have, but for the most part, guys, like I said, they have knocked this out of the park. For the free-to-play community and for the pay-to-play community, it feels like the perfect balance, and they really did create a pretty even playing field with all things considered. Now, just talking about the game mode itself, trying to pair up with just random people, trying to make the best team that you possibly can out of these mixtures of characters that they give you is a lot more fun than I first gave it credit for. The theory crafting is out of this world, and you only can use these characters so much. So even though, yes, on this first Showdown, Moana definitely carries the torch as the best damage dealer, you can only use her so much. And in fact, I created this kind of spreadsheet here to help me track how much I'm using each and every character. That way, I've got the morning Showdowns that we had on Twitch. I'll be streaming again tonight. And that way, I don't use just my best teams. Because one of the biggest tips I have for you guys is make sure you spread out the best characters on your team. You don't want to throw them all up together and get yourself a 10-0 record and be like, yeah, I did it. It's not going to help you climb the leaderboard. You want to try to find the best bang for your bucks, the best duos, and the best synergy all together to net you as many wins as possible so you don't blow through your best characters quite early. Now, first and foremost, to quickly talk about the characters, there's a few sets of duos and there's a few things to look out for when you're going into the Summoners Showdown. Now, I do have some good footage for you guys right here. I'll go ahead and throw this up on the screen here. This is of some of the showdowns that I was having. One thing that you guys want to keep a big lookout for is number one, the taunts. Okay, you've got Monterey Jack and Simba, and this goes for any future taunting characters in this game mode. Right now, the amount of Persian compared to taunts, there's too much RNG there, and so taunting is something you want to prevent a ton from your enemy doing. And guys, the few battles that I did lose happened because of Simba taunting, and I could not get past it. So tip number one, make sure that you watch those people that are taunting. Try to use that crowd control, those stuns, the charm from Jack Sparrow. Use those on Simba. You can afford one hit from one of the attackers, and make sure you shut down their tanks quite early. Now, the other note I have is there is definitely a pecking order of who you want to go for while you're starting your Summoner Showdown. By far, Genie is a big threat to take down first, as he has an invincibility save, but you also want to take down Moana 9 times out of 10. Once you get rid of that Moana on the enemy team, they're usually banking everything they have on her, and once she's gone, you're pretty much good to go. Now, talking more about the pecking order, let's bring up the speed graphic from the other day, guys. You can find this on my Discord. Learning speed in this game mode is going to be everything about the pecking order of killing characters. Now, you guys notice you see the fastest on the top left and the slowest on the bottom right, with T 8.5 gear in consideration for the blue numbers. Now, first and foremost, when it comes to who to target first, we're gonna have two different categories. The first category is going to be your tanks. That's going to be Jasmine, that's going to be Simba, and that's going to be Monterey Jack. You want to make sure and ensure that you control them early and don't let them get that taunt out, as you don't have a lot of purges and you want to get right to their heavy hitters like Moana and Anger. Now, on the flip side, if you have some heavy hitters like Eve, Moana, or Anger ready to go and there's no taunt on the field and you're really controlling the battlefield, go and give everything you got after their lead attacker, primarily starting with Moana. Captain Jack Sparrow is also very important to take down so that he doesn't charm or AoE team your team to death. And lastly, we have Anger, who's got his big one-shot, and you just want to be careful with his overall giant boom attack that Honey Lemon can go ahead and stop with a stun, and you can keep him at bay. Now, I know Daisy Duck does have high speed. Don't worry about her all too much. Wally will amp up Eve for the Sonic Boom, and that's going to give their team a lot to work with. So you want to make sure Wally and Eve are on the priority list. But other than that, go for the tanks, then go for the offense units. Now, moving on with some more tips, guys. First and foremost, if you're looking for a really solid team and you just want to get those wins, this one right here is tremendous. You've got Barley for the big time Barley bombs with Moana. You want to go ahead and throw Daisy actually where Barley is to get that offense up for Moana, and then you can just completely smack and paddle them to death with your more ore and follow it up with the next turn of Crashing Wave. Again, you want to make sure, unless you have Barley with Moana, you want to make sure that you've got speed stones on everybody, but this team is very solid. Now let's go and quickly, guys, just talk about some of the best duos, and then we're going to move on to spells and talk a little bit more about the game mode, and we'll call it a day. Talking more about some of the amazing duos and synergies that you can find, we're going to break down some of my favorite duos for you guys and some unlikely duos that you usually wouldn't see in PvP. Now, Monterey Jack and Daisy, I love them two together. Monterey Jack's going to get that taunt and that unstoppable. Definitely a wrecking force within this new game mode, and Daisy can extend both his taunt and unstoppable. And the reason this is going to be so important is Captain Jack Sparrow has those charms that are not going to affect Monterey Jack. And B, guys, the spells that you should be rolling for the most part is going to be Sugar Rush without any question. And then you're going to most likely want to run Slumber unless you've got Dumbo at level 4. Infinity Sided Dice is a little bit of a gamble, but these two spells are going to be the main ones you want to use to control the battlefield under your own favor. But with that unstoppable, Slumber's not going to work either. So I really enjoy this because you can put just about any attackers over here and they're going to hold down the line. Now, the other duos are a little bit more noticeable. Obviously, you've got Rafiki and you've got Simba. They're going to have some great synergy. Simba has been a giant MVP with his taunts, with his turn meter removal, his healing, and Rafiki's going to be assisting with some stuns and cleansing. Really like them two together. Obviously, Moana and Barley are a match made in heaven. And then outside of that, guys, you do have the Genie and Jasmine that we talked about previously. Really great synergy between them two. Horn King, he's a little bit of a mixed bag. Horn King and Corella, you want to go ahead and try to pair them up with Hermes. Now, none of these guys are going to scream crazy good, but you want to use all the characters that you can, and at least you get some base synergy here. Horn King's going to get a little faster with his passive with a 2% gain per mythic teammate. That's where Hermes is going to come in. Hermes, by far, is the definition of toilet water. Worst character in this game mode and most likely in the game. Corella does have a nice niche here to be able to cleanse up the team with the Cauldron, with Jasmine's Raja. But one thing I don't see people doing a lot, because maybe they don't use her as often as I do from, live PvP, is you want to go ahead and use Corella, use this second ability here, Name Your Price, and take these other buffs from characters. If you've got Daisy Duck putting attack up on Hermes, he certainly doesn't need it. Take it from him, give it to them too, and then you've got your team rolling a lot better. So again, to recap and put it all quickly, watch out for taunts. Make sure you hold on to your purchase to get rid of those taunts. Control the tanks on the enemy team. take down their biggest threats, and you can definitely win and punch up against those best Moana teams. You can win a lot more battles than you think. You want to split up your team and keep track of the characters. Now, again, I made my own spreadsheet, but you can also find the tracking right here. Now, as far as tips and tricks go, that's going to be the main chunk of my first experience going into the morning. Guys, I'm going to be live streaming this as much as possible, so you guys can catch me live here at 7:30 PST on my Twitch channel, which you can find right here, guys. We're going to be doing the second set of battles, but again, we've got to give credit where credit is due. DSA, through the rewards, the milestones have been tremendous. Getting Miguel shards for free to play has been an awesome way to introduce this. However, I do want to mention one concern I have kind of moving forward, although I think it should work out quite nicely. I definitely love that this is a limited time game mode. I think it works best that way. I actually love everybody being in at once because it feels like you're constantly matching up with someone. I will let you know through some data of what I've seen from myself in other battles. If you continue to lose, it looks like you're going to be paired up with a bot to at least kind of, you know, help your self-esteem out. I don't love that bots are in these game modes, but if they're only going to be included if you keep losing, I'm okay with that. The other thing I do want to kind of shout out is talking about the units in general. 3-star in Gear 3 is going to be required, and they have let us know that this is only for this specific showdown, right? So the next week's showdown could have different requirements, and my hope is they don't get too carried away with these requirements. You know, one of the most reasons this is a lot of fun is that everybody can do it. And I do expect there to be scaling. I think, let's say next week goes to Gear 4, maybe in 4 stars, and then maybe 5 and 5 stars. And who knows, it can go from there. But I hope they make sure they include everyone, because the way that they did the stamina potions, I think worked out really nicely. It gives free to play plenty of play testing. It gives pay to play. If they want to play a little bit more, they can definitely get those gems. The first showdown is going to be a little rougher because we weren't prepared for it. But next week or before, once this one is done, guys, go to the club exchange, go to the tournament exchange, buy these stamina potions like crazy, gear up for the next showdown, and you can go to the Discord and find a list of the next upcoming characters to ensure you've got them ready to roll. Now, again, it could be at 3-star, 3 gear again. I would probably prep for this to scale up, so we might want to you know, watch your roster with this and gently scale them up. But outside of that, guys, this was a pleasant surprise, and you can color me impressed. I want to give a hats off to Glue for just a refreshing take on PvP. It counts for your live PvP battles. You don't have to see that son of a Hercules, and altogether, it's a lot of fun. So my friends, go ahead and let me know down in the comments below what you think about the game mode. We're going to be doing plenty of content on this, and this is definitely something that's going to hold our attention until the upcoming raid, and it's going to make my live streams a heck of a lot more fun. If you haven't already, go ahead, guys, subscribe to the channel. Come check me out on Twitch. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and until next time, stay cozy.